Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Kaguya-sama Love is War, Season 2. But today, we're going to be checking out Episode 5. And last time, on Episode 4, in terms of things I'd like to talk about. 1. Hayasaka was dared by Kaguya to try to, well, win Miyuki over in 24 hours. Yeah, she had 24 hours to try to seduce him, basically, just to test if she was even able to do it. All because of one simple comment that Hayasaka made. Kaguya felt threatened by her and just decided to challenge her to that. Now, she did play her cards well, and in most situations she might have actually been successful, even though it was only within one day, but not gonna work on Miyuki. He refused her advances, saying, "Sorry, but there's a girl I like." Good on you, man. But poor Hayasaka had to go through that whole embarrassing ordeal. And then, in probably one of the most important moments of the entire series thus far, we had ourselves a good old-fashioned Monogatari reference. Yes, there was a whole scene dedicated to it just being a one-to-one recreation of a scene in Monogatari. I mean, everything was there. The classroom setting, the zoom in on the eyes, the light coming in through the window, the hair thing, the school utensils slowly falling to the ground. Everything. I was even sent some nice comparison images just so we can get a good idea of just how close it was. Apparently the guy who directed this episode also worked on Monogatari in the past, so yeah, it makes sense he just decided to reference his previous work. But apart from that really cool reference, we did get introduced to one new important character, that being one Ino, Miko, who is a first-year student here, just like Ishigami, who is also running to be student council president against Miyuki, and at first it seemed like she might be a decent threat, because she seems competent, fierce, determined, and she does seem very dedicated to actually making school a better place, so maybe she had a chance, right? Turns out, maybe not so much, because after looking at her flyer, they saw that some of her policies were a bit questionable. And although we saw the first 3 policies on that flyer, the 4th one was obscured and also untranslated, so I didn't get to see what it said, but thank you, Jazz, for giving me a scan of the manga where the 4th one is visible, and I can see now that it says that male and female students are not to be allowed within 50 centimeters of each other, which, wow, that might be the most strict one of them all. So yeah, Ino Miko, she's smart, she's determined, she's unyielding, she's short, and she has unpopular, very strict opinions on school politics. So yeah, she ain't gonna win anytime soon. She'd have to have a hell of a campaign if these are the policies she's going to try to implement. But who knows, even if she's not going to become student council president, perhaps the council does have a place for her. That's my theory anyway. Anywho, good episode last time, pretty chill, but now, let's get into episode 5. Yeah, to Kaguya, Miko's plan didn't actually sound all that bad. I mean, she would still get to be in the council with Miyuki, and she'd get to spend a lot of time with him. They could go around picking up trash, doing all that stuff, but yeah, that last one there was a deal breaker, wasn't it? No relationships, half a meter apart. And like I said, she can't win. There's no way she's gonna win with these policies at play here. I mean, you never know, maybe she can convince people that it's for the best and it's the right way to go about it. I'm sure not everybody cares too much about being able to stand close to people. Although all the other ones are definitely gonna hurt that. No cell phone, identical haircuts, crew cuts and pigtails. Don't think so. Anyway, what a fascinating episode. I mean, we got to see what Miyuki would look like if he actually got some sleep for once, and apparently he just has gorgeous, gorgeous eyes. But the Miyuki Kaguya fell in love with didn't have those eyes. He had the tired, intimidating looking ones. And once he was shot down about it, he just did not get a wink of sleep that night and just was trashed. But apparently that's what Kaguya was into. Apparently, I mean, she was just... But hey, perhaps at last we can have a true entry in everyone's favorite segment, Overanalyzing Fictional Relationship Advice. Kaguya approached her with a quandary. Does she feel true love if she was a little set back by Miyuki's change of appearance? And the response she got was that, that's love. You get excited and disappointed over the smallest things, and I guess there's a point to be made there. She didn't get to give much advice outside of that because she was really flustered by her bringing up the concept of true love, but Fujiwara, she gave some very clear advice about true love. Bringing up Beauty and the Beast, saying that it's about looking past someone's appearance, and if you can't look past their appearance, well, that's just a crush. A shallow one. And she makes a point there that if you truly love someone for who they are, their appearance doesn't really matter so much to you. It's who they are on the inside. And that really, if you're only interested in their appearance, yeah, that would just be a shallow crush. Of course, in Kaguya's case, it wasn't really what was going on here. It wasn't just his appearance. We know that she likes him for reasons beyond that, and she was just thrown off by his sudden change of appearance. So in terms of how I would rank that advice just in general, I guess I'd give it about a B or something, because it's pretty basic information, you know, eye of the beholder type thing. Anyway, back to what she was being told in the very beginning here. I kind of skipped over my analyzation of that to talk about Fujiwara, so sorry, but what she says here, you get excited and disappointed over the smallest things. Yeah, you know, subtle, little things can kind of set you off in one direction or the other. Especially in her case because she became so used to him, you know, that she had expected certain things of him. She thought he would look a certain way because he always looked like that, and any small amount of change would obviously set her off a little bit. It doesn't mean you don't still love him or anything. It's just, it's hard to not be surprised by a change like that. In the end, Kashiwagi's advice was very vague because she didn't know what to really say. She was being confronted with a concept and a topic that she didn't want to really think about. So all in all, I guess I would give that one a B as well, because it's, you know, again, it's very simple, but it can be useful in consoling somebody who's questioning their feelings about somebody thanks to, you know, getting thrown off by a small change in their appearance. And Ishigami didn't have advice either. It was the most vague of them all, being like how, oh, this feeling we hold in our hearts, how can we know that true love was not there the whole time? It's like, what am I even supposed to take away from that? Also because he was being asked a totally different question about being tormented because he wasn't able to feel true love, and he's like, nah, we always hold true love in our hearts. Less about advice, more a weird philosophical perspective. But then we got serenaded by Miyuki's sweet singing voice, which, again, we get introduced to another flaw of his that he ironed out to perfection. Not only did he just suck at volleyball, he had no hand-eye coordination, he also sucked at singing and was incredibly tone-deaf. I wonder what else he's bad at. I mean, he had no hand-eye coordination, he was tone-deaf. Perhaps there's some other adaptable skills that he doesn't possess. But this was just a nice return to the volleyball episode where she was having to go out of her way to teach Miyuki the proper way to sing, to cure him of his tone deafness, and in this case, his singing was about as bad as his volleyball skills. That was the vocal equivalent of slamming your own face into a volleyball and flying 20 feet away. And all in all, it seemed like she didn't have as bad of a time with that one, you know? She did still swear off teaching him anything ever again, but I mean, she seemed incredibly moved by his performance, and she didn't get all beat up by it this time. There was definitely a lot less physical exertion on her side here, but depending on how much time it took, I can still see it being very exhausting. But given that she swore off at once and it ended up helping anyway, something tells me we're going to see a return to this once again. And I can't wait until we do. I want to know what else he's bad at. Just hilariously, deeply bad at. And it was relatable to see him just trying to lip sync to what everyone else was singing because he didn't want to sing with the rest of the crowd. I remember doing that like a Christmas pageant once at like elementary school, where they were trying to train us to sing, like Rudolph or something, and I was just not having it. I faked it the entire time, and nobody called me out. And lastly, Kaguya went on a warpath trying to take out all of Miyuki's competition in the presidential election here, and she ran into one foe who she was going to have a harder time making back down, that being Miko. Apparently she just really intimidated one guy out of it, just, setting him down, giving him some tea, putting some sugar in there, and just, really spooking him. But Miko was smart enough to not, play into that strategy. She refused to even sit down and have any tea in the first place. And then accidentally just turned the tables on Kaguya. Kaguya was successfully wearing her down, but once she accidentally started buttering her up by saying, "Oh, you and Miyuki are just made for each other. You and the ex-president should just go and get married." She was trying to insult her by saying that, but she did not actually pick up on the fact that she did want to marry him. It was interesting seeing Kaguya play mind games with somebody else for once, because usually she only plays those with Miyuki, but she was trying to play them with her, and they were working, but no, the tables got turned. But next time will be the elections. It's gonna be hype as heck. Miyuki's probably gonna win, right? I mean, he's running against very little competition here. Miko's the only one who was actually holding her own in the polls, and, well, after passing those flyers around and everyone getting a good idea of what her campaign promises were, I'm not sure how interested people would be. Although she was still getting some votes beforehand, it's not like she was tanking in the polls. So who can really say for sure? But anyway, I've been rambling on for way too long here, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. Subscribe to be updated on more. That'd be great. Next time, episode 6, we're gonna get into the election. We'll see just who can manage to become victorious there. My money's still on Miyuki, but there is a chance they might try to mix things up a little bit. They did say they had one more opponent who she forgot to take care of, so maybe they'll have a come from behind victory. Overall, I liked the episode. Maybe it was a little slow compared to some of the other ones recently, but I think it made up for that with some really nice visuals, Like I said earlier, that they felt more robust. I don't know why I can only think of the word robust to describe them, but they did feel robust, and I appreciated that. So yeah, the election will surely be interesting. I can't wait to check it out, and hope to see you guys there. But until then, I will see you guys later.